sure it'll be an unbiased call from Grant Coffey.
Thank you very much, Neil. Round 14 action. The second-placed Eagles up against the third-placed Bulldogs. Should be a fantastic contest. Grand final rematch of last year. Big Paul Sculler up against Paul Lindsay. Sculler is a barometer for the Bulldog side, as Lindsay is, so it'll be a fantastic contest. Chris Knight's back into the side. He's an important player for the Eagles. Gets a lot of the football. So just waiting on umpire Richard Williams. Just checking with the captains. Holds the ball aloft. Up go the big men. Sculler taps the ball down. Sickalella, first one there. Good tackle there by the Dogs. Comes out now towards Jared. Wheels onto the left foot. Comes grandstand side. Out there looking for Rugolo. Waiting for the ball to bounce. Gets it on the hop now. Handballs back to Treby. Back there to Jarrett. Had a couple of early touches. Around there looking for Colville. Knights into the action. Back to Colville now. The Eagles are away. They've got a player there in Westbrook. Takes the mark at half forward. He goes to play on quickly. Passador one out. The kick's not the best. Up against Zibanala, but Passador's up to the task. Play on, said the umpire. McKenzie in defence. Picks up the ball. Over to Zibanala. He dropped it. Play on, said the umpire. Handball comes out to Knights. Wheels around onto the left foot. He puts it straight through. Great start by the Eagles side, and a great goal by Knights, and his first goal, and the Eagles' first. Great start, Ben Knights.
Yeah, Chris Knights there getting exactly as he'd love to, getting on the end of a nice handball in space and turning around and making the finishing the goal beautifully, as you'd expect from an AFL experienced player. But very important touches to a few Central Districts boys, the likes of Sickalella coming out of the centre, also Mark Passador getting on the end of the ball coming forward. See Paul Lindsay giving the handball to Chris Knights in space and a good finish. So Eagles on the board and making the start they'd certainly be after.
Coming off a bye, no signs of a little bit of complacency or slowness off the mark from the Eagles. Great start. Sodas, what have they got on the bench today?
Number 4, Peter Fiacci sitting on there. Also, Sammy Jacobs, the big red-headed ruckman, returning from representing the SA under-18s in Melbourne last week, and also Dale Simmons.
Tough work in the centre of the ground. O'Sullivan just got it wide for Centrals. Heading towards the boundary line. Slade helps it on its way, or maybe back to Swatala. Nice roll on the ball for Swatala. High kick for Ware. Did well, or did he? No. Out of bounds. Far side of the ground.
After a couple of games out, Elijah Ware coming back in, and that would be really important for him to get a lot of the football early, and important for Centrals that he can team up with the likes of Sculler and Ruff.
Ball in close again. Powell, sandwich, caught in and under. We'll get another ball up.
Matty Slade's very important for Centrals. He's been kicking goals this season, and look, he can get his hands on the football as well. That's another on ball that'd be very useful for Centrals today.
Quick kick around the corner by Shaddock. Ball falls to Hay, can't take it. In there is Cooper, and a free kick. That's against Andrew Hayes. So Cooper now at half back, out of side for the Eagles. Central's pushing numbers back, as they like to do when there's a stoppage in play. Cooper now wheels onto the left foot, goes towards centre half forward. Can't find Grokey. Westhoff's in there for the Bulldogs. In goes Big Lindsay. Gives it out to Jarrett. Good handball. Tries to get through traffic. Scholar now. Comes out towards Gowans. Good tackle there by Treby. In there goes Rugolo. Picks the ball up and under kick. Up goes Westhoff. Can't take it. Pedlar's in there. Arm pin. Gets a quick kick. Comes out towards Cooper. Too high, said the umpire on Hayes. And he's given a couple away early, young Hayes. Cooper with a kick, kicks in towards Passador. And that is a strong mark there by Passador in front of Eve Zibanala. And young Ben, that was a great mark in front.
It was a great strong mark, and that's Mark Passador's key. You see him very quick off the lead, and also a great set of hands on him. He's the key up forward for the Eagles again. This, you know, and a big job for Naylor to go with Mark Passador, because if Passador gets his confidence up, gets him into a few footballs, kicks a few goals, then there's nothing that will stop the Eagles forward line today.
So Passador, he'll kick from about 40 metres out on a 45-degree angle. We're right behind him here, kicking towards the clubhouse end. Normally a pretty good shot on goal. It's drifting across, but has it gone through? No, it's drifted to the right-hand side for a minor score. And so does, you've got the bench for the Doggies.
Big Jonathan Griffin, who played his first game for the year last week. Alex Stengel and also Alan Ost.
Before the line with a kick, mate, that's all.
Central's taking their time to bring the ball back into play. And they break. They go for Schooler on the far side of the ground. Passador with the punch down. Gowans onto it. Couldn't get a clean possession, nor could Slade. Eagles do well. They get it forward, back into that 50 zone. We'll get a ball up. As we expect, it's just going to be pressure football this afternoon. Two sides that pride themselves on contested ball around these packs. Thomas over at now for Centrals. Wilson was there as well, and just joining the party, a couple of Eagles.
Probably expect to see a bit of spite and a fair bit of physicality in this first quarter for both of these teams. They played against each other probably more times, and there it is. That's the result of it sometimes.
Yes, the umpires have picked one out. They want to get in control of this early. Now the umpire's down, and Big Lindsay pushing his weight around, and at the same time pushing Stuart Cochrane around. Vinny Rugolo is the man with the free kick. So Rugolo will line up and passes off for Knights. Found a bit of space, Chris Knights. That left leg, either strapping or some sort of bandage on it.
Compression bandage on that left leg, yep.
So Knights will kick from just 40 metres. Not much angle to speak of. Shouldn't be a problem for a man who's as talented as this young man. And he kicks a second for the Eagles. And a very, very good start for the home side.
Well, worrying signs for Central Districts there. We see Chris Knights getting loose a couple of times. And he'll do that day in, day out. If he gets that 5 or 10 metres on his opponent, then he'll keep presenting and loves to kick a goal, Chris Knights. And it's going to be very important back into the team today with the likes of Skipworth going to the Crows. So Chris Knights having to step up and play that role that he's done so well over the last couple of years for the Eagles, and also a couple of times for the Crows this year.
The Eagles doing very well around the stoppages at the moment. Knights in there once again. Gets a backwards handball. Out there looking for Fiacci. It's Peter Fiacci. Gets a tap forward. In goes O'Sullivan. Comes out to Thomas. The Magarey medalist. Up and under kick. McCabe sits under it. Pushing back. That is a great mark there by Inkster in defence. The left footer. A dangerous player. Normally see him up forward. And loves to take a flying mark as well. Very important player for the Eagles side. He goes in short to Jared. He's had plenty of the footy already. Been a good pick-up for the Eagles through the midfield this year, Ben.
Yeah, getting a lot of the football, and he's got good finishing skills. He's a good developing player for the Eagles.
Comes back out to Knights. Just racking up the touches early. Young Knights. Now it comes along. Down there looking for Pedler, also Lindsay. Schooler's there, can't take the mark. Comes out towards Hayes. The Eagles are going in hard. Cochrane, smothered kick, comes out to Schooler. Doesn't know what to do with it and decides to put it out on the full. Not the best option there, but the pressure there by the Eagles has been sensational so far.
Yeah, it has been. We saw James Gowans get a little clip across the chops, and Joey Pedler just went to tell him about it. And the two boys aren't happy.
Both Gowans boys in, all Sikalella in. Not sure if he just dusted something off his chin there, Ben.
Yeah, I think he had a little bit of his lunch just left on the chin there that Chris Gowans just had to get rid of.
The best battle out there is Matty Slade versus Big Paul
Jared
Lindsay.
now plays on quickly in there to Inkster. So Inkster's pushed up from the back pocket, now plays on quickly, looking there for Mackenzie, and Mackenzie takes the mark. He was unchecked. He's 40 metres out directly in front, and the Eagles got on with the play, and the Bulldogs were left remonstrating behind play, Ben.
I think Sodas was about to tell us something about a good battle that's going on down there.
Yeah, I just said there was a good lineup while that fight was going on. Paul Lindsay versus Matty Slade, a massive mismatch.
Matty Slade playing his 150th game, but the ball's with Mackenzie's toe. That wasn't the best kick. Wilson's in there. Ball runs out of play. Probably a poor result in the end for the Eagles side. Mackenzie, a very good player for the Eagles.
Oh, he is. I mean, he's played a lot of football through the centre for the Eagles, and then last year went down back and has been playing a very solid role for them down back this year again.
At this stage, Jared and Knights have had 10 possessions between them. Centrals have had 10 as a team.
Now I've got 11, and
Right,
Sibonala will make it 12 as he goes to the far side of the ground. Shell looking to push his opponent McKenzie under the ball. O'Sullivan comes in, missed with the hand pass. Now he's sandwiched and over the line. No room to move there for Chad O'Sullivan. So does just with Chris Knights coming off the ground. Is that just a regular switch?
Yeah, look, he looks okay. He was very disappointed as he came off the ground, but physically he looks to be all right at the moment.
And Ronnie Fuller's not a coach as such to make a lot of interchanges, so you just wonder about that. Ball now to McCabe. There was a push in the back there, but it's called advantage play on. Paul Thomas inside 50 for Westhoff. Great pick up by Westhoff. Around the corner. Bounce, bounce, goal. I'll tell you what, he doesn't miss.
Well, he doesn't miss, but how's the pickup? I mean, the lad, what would he be, 6'4"? I'm just looking for his height down here.
6'6", Ben.
6'6", so there you go. He's 6'6". He's picked that up off the toes. He's turned on a dime and slotted the goal. I mean, that is just sensational skills. As we see it again, the pickup off the half volley, the turn, the presence of mind to know where the goals are. That's exactly what you're looking for in a young player.
And that's now 21 goals for the season.
Good return.
And there's a few AFL scouts to be looking at young Westhoff. Had a very good season so far. Ball back in the middle. Comes out now towards Ware. Got the run of the football. Good tackle there by Inkster. Great pressure by the Eagles. And Ben, the Eagles just hunting in numbers at the moment.
Yeah, they are. I mean, that's their key. The Colvilles, the Sicalellas, the Knights. I mean, they're hard in and under players. They're not the receiving type players. So that's exactly what they do.
Ball comes out now to Inkster. Down there looking for Simons. Can't take the ball. Towed over the line by Cochrane, and so does.
Yes, Grant, just to follow up on Chrissy Knights, when he did come off the ground, he was disappointed. He's got the ice pack on the thigh, so he looks to have jagged a driver just in his opening minutes. Made a sensational start with his 2 goals. Massive disappointment for the Eagles.
So we saw he had that bandaged up quite heavily. Thomas gets the kick forward down towards half forward. O'Sullivan's there. Cowan gave the free kick away. Too high against McKenzie. And that should be a fantastic matchup today. Both players have played state footy.
Yep.
And McKenzie,
definitely.
very good across half-back. He plays on now, going in there towards Powell. So the Eagles aren't in a hurry to move the ball forward at the moment, just waiting for the correct option. So Powell, who's very good through the midfield, got plenty of pace. Normally uses the ball very well. Kicks long, down towards looking for Lindsay. Schooler comes in, can't take it. Gowan's in there, wrapped up on the tackle, tries to get clear. And just letting the umpire know that he was just away there, but called him back.
And out of that collision, Hayes is coming straight off the ground, so as you might get a look at the reason for that, but he has just sprinted across the ground and off the ground.
Yeah, I think you'll find, Neil, that he's damaged the right thumb. We get a good look at that. You'll see that he's dislocated, and trainer right now, unfortunately, he's got his back to us. We won't see him pull it back in. He's just done that successfully, and Hayes looks like he's about to head out. But he's coming back. He's got it back in place, so it shouldn't be too long before we see him in action.
Game continuing on the other side of the ground. You'd think that Hayes will need some strapping after having a dislocation. So
Pretty hard, though, Neil, to strap that top knuckle too. I mean, if it was the bottom knuckle, I mean, it's probably a more major injury, but to have that top knuckle out, if you can pop it back in pretty quickly, it's pretty hard to strap, but
I must admit,
okay.
personally, I was trying to avoid actually looking at that, so I didn't realise it was the top knuckle on the thumb as Eagles go forward again. Here's Wilson, been important off half-back for them all season, and they are going backwards with the handball. Finally, McKenzie wide to Sibonala. Not in much space, though. It's pretty much been one-on-one football. He goes long for Cowan and McKenzie. Cowan just a little strong. McKenzie a little uncertain whether he was going to get away with putting the hands around Cowan. He goes now for Westhoff, who used his body very effectively. Ball travels out the back towards Chris Gowans and out of bounds in the end. Joey Pedler coming in to push him out of bounds and almost put the ball in the face. Round 4 highlights of the Anzac Day clash, the grand final rematch between these two sides coming up at quarter time. Look forward to that. It's a great match. Lindsay just got it off the Cooper, went for the boundary line. McCabe intercepted it before it got there. Finally, it will travel over.
Neil, Andrew Hayes has been given the all clear by the Central's medical staff. He's back onto the ground, and Obb's taking a seat on the bench.
And so does Chris Knights. You'd expect having that strapping on the thigh before the game. He must have injured that either pre-game or that's an old injury.
Well, certainly coming into the game, Benny has had a calf problem, missed a couple of weeks there with the Crows. So obviously that indication of the thigh strapping could have been a situation as well, perhaps compelled by that calf.
Lindsay tapped the ball down to Hall, come to Powell. Over to Shaddock, comes grandstand side. In there goes Fiarchi, gives the ball off there to Cooper, the running Cooper. Kicks the ball down towards Groke. He's had a great season so far. McKenzie brings the ball to ground towards Hayes, the former rugby player. Got plenty of time, kicks the ball out wide, but it's all Eagles at the moment. McKenzie runs onto the football. He's got Inkster in support. Now gives the ball over towards Inkster. Playing across half-back, so wobbly old kick. Elijah Ware couldn't take the ball. Westbrooks comes in. Handball over the top towards Passador. Got plenty of strength. Treeby. Back handball there towards Inkster. He's had plenty of the football. Kicks it long down to Rugalo. Oh, that's a good mark. Hits the ground running. He's got plenty of time. Has one bounce, two bounces. Kicks in short of Passador, and that is great work there by Passador. He has run 100 metres from the wing into that spot, Ben, and he's having a shot on goal, and he'll also receive a 25 off the football. Adrian Wilson just pushing Justin Sickler over.
Yeah,
undisciplined play.
And it was the second time that Sickler actually got pushed over. He tried to milk the free kick the first time. I think Wilson went back to say, oh, that's stupid. You're trying to milk the free kick. It's not going to work. What's he done? He's pushed him over, and it's just come to fruition. So Mark Passador is going to make no problems here with this goal, and that's giving Mark Passador more confidence.
So Passador comes in, kicks his first. It's 1 goal, 1. Passador's kicked, and he's looked very dangerous up forward today. And we know, Ben, he is a fast-leading player with a sure set of hands.
And the Eagles use him time and time again. I mean, if you give Mark Passador 30 centimetres, let alone a metre or two, Eagles are going to look for him because he is the option up there across full forward. If he comes up and plays across centre forward as well, they just go to him. And, you know, as an opponent standing, I mean, I'm experienced with this. He's kicked a few goals on me in the time, so I just know the Eagles go to him time and time again, and you know, you've just got to be literally right on him.
So 13 points the margin. Travelled 16 minutes in the opening quarter. Central's largely been ineffective going forward, and that was a push in the back, and that'll help them out. Chris Gowans will take the free kick. Shattuck pleading his case. Surprisingly, the umpire saying, I don't want to hear it. So Chris Gowans, the more accurate at goal kicking of the two Gowans, and that's guaranteed to shank the ball. And I must say that James has kicked one more point than Chris this season. Another high tackle, another free kick to the Eagles, and Daniel Shell crashing out of there. Is Chris Gowans this season 10-9, James Gowans 10-12. So the ball on the far side of the ground. And the Eagles go forward. They do well. Here's Treeby off his left leg down to half forward. Grokey went to the front. Took a great mark. Yes, he did, according to the umpire, ahead of McKenzie. Interestingly, to have Jason McKenzie there across the half-back line. And wait,
free kick,
another free kick to Passador further down the ground. Umpire Richard Williams spotting off the ball holding. Yves Sivanela being penalised. Earns the applause of the Eagles fans and the bewilderment coming from the Centrals fans. So Passador will line up for his second of the afternoon, and he shouldn't have too many problems. Straight in front, 25 out, and he has missed. So, well, I'm sure the Centrals boys are telling him all about it too.
I'd already penciled that one in, too. And I'll tell you why. Yves Sivanela's got a problem down there, because Ron Fuller's got all the Eagles boys except for Mark Passador playing up high in the 50. Mark Passador then had 30 to 40 metres in front of him, and it just put the pressure on Sivanela. Sivanela panicked. The umpire was onto it, saw the free kick, and gave it to Passador.
Treeby dropped the football. In comes Big Lindsay. We received the free kick. In the back said the umpire, so the big fella put the head over the football. Gave it off there to Treeby, to Fiarchi. Kicks long. In the Passador direction, also Sikalila goes up, can't take the mark. In there is James Downs, tries to bullock his way through, can't do so. And umpire Richard Williams will come in once again and bounce the ball down 45 metres out from the Eagles' goal. Nearly 19 minutes gone in the first quarter. Been a good contest so far. In goes Gowans, that's James. Tries to barge through, can't do so.
some of the one-sided stats at this stage. Disposals are 61-29, free kicks 8-2 inside, and marks 12-2, all in favour of the Eagles.
So it's a bit of an arm wrestle here at the moment. The Doggies just trying to hold up play.
And they need to do this. You can see they're just crowding around the footy, trying to wrestle back that bit of authority they had, or they have had in previous contests between them.
It's been a great start by the Eagles side, probably kicking against a slight breeze, if anything. Power tries to get the handball out, does so to Simons. Over there towards Fiarchi, his kick is smothered. In goes Power once again. Back to Fiarchi, over to Cicolella. Good quick kick in towards Passador. He's got the run of the ball, kicks around the corner, and he's missed another one. So that's 3 behinds already to Passador. But he's a dangerous forward, always plays in front where good forward should be, Ben.
He's super quick, and you saw there, I mean, the ability to grab it again. We saw Westhoff up the other end do the same thing, grab the footy, turn, know where the goals are. He's not able to finish, and I know Mark Passador will be filthy on himself for missing the last 2 goals.
Well, he knew where the points were anyway.
Yeah.
Long kick in at the back, red best by Treby. Off to Powell. Takes it, breaks, couldn't break the tackle though. Now Jarrett on his left foot, no, couldn't gather it. Now they work it again. This time Colville pulled down brilliantly. The Dogs are away, throws Sullivan to Ware. Intercept coming in there from Jarrett. Met hard by Gowans. He's down in the background. Jarrett away from the ball. And also struggling Matty Slade. There are some interesting events going on out there. Spot fires breaking out everywhere. Have a look at that. He just wasn't aware, Jarrett, that Chris Gowans was coming. Chris Gowans knew what he was about.
Well, normally does.
Now Powell. Off balance, up to half forward Inkster. Push perhaps, no, out of bounds. The punch coming from Cochrane.
Need that with Inkster there. You need to get that little bit of presence, that little bit of feel on the body, because Inkster's got a great catch on him. He loves to jump at the footy, so if you can just give him that little nudge when he's up there, fairly of course, it's going to keep his hands off the football.
Another interesting play going on in the Eagles forward line. I come to that at the next stop in play, Ben. Get you to have a look at it as they work the ball inside forward 50. Grokey first one to the ball, tackled, broke the tackle. Couldn't get a clean disposal away. Now it's in the back. Paul Thomas is pinched for in the back. Grokey will take a free kick. And you mentioned about Passador up forward, but the other interesting thing, they're working Westbrook back to the square with Wilson dragging him away from the half-back line.
Yep, no, spot on. Good kick. Talk about that in a tick.
Grokey, long to the square. Lindsay! Big man couldn't pull it down. Passador now tackled, surrounded, and will get a ball up.
Yeah, they're bringing Wilson straight back to the goal line because of the fact he's been so damaging for Central Districts in the last few weeks. He's been, like I said, the leading mark taker in the Central Districts team, and also he just runs the footy from defence so well. And when he combines with the likes of the Thomases and those guys from out the Central District's defence, he becomes very damaging and very attacking. So the deeper they can take Wilson, the better off the Eagles will be.
In front of the scoreboard, it's the Eagles by 15 points. Big Lindsay tries to crash his way through, comes out towards Matthew Slade. Handball over the top towards Obst. Gets another handball. Eagles intercept, comes out towards Cooper. Got a bit of time, tries to get the handball to Colville, goes back in there now. Could have been caught high by Thomas, but the umpire said, I'll ball it up. And Adam Grokey, been a very important player for the Eagles since crossing from North Adelaide. Former rookie-listed player with the power.
Yep, no, a very good player. And another interesting matchup down forward for the Eagles is that Roy Laird has had to put Buckets McKenzie onto him, and I think Grokey might just have the speed and the hand skill to overcome that.
He's going to receive the free kick. Obbs got him too high. And the Eagles just look like they're attacking the ball a bit harder than the Dogs at the moment.
And making Central's panic, and that's why you see the free kicks going to the Eagles the whole time.
So the skipper now with the football, 55 out from goal, goes in towards Passador. In front, can't take the mark. Ball comes to ground, Wilson's in there, also Inkster. Numbers around the football. Ball comes out to Wilson, a damaging player across half back to Obst. Over there to Chris Gowans, over there to Ware. Comes out towards James Gowans. Loose across half-back on that occasion. He can do the switch, but it was a poor kick. Inkster smothered the ball. Comes out towards Rugolo. Handball over the top towards Cicolella. How's the left foot. Measures the kick. Goes in towards Grokey, the man we were just talking about. In front. And a good mark. And he's just creating a lot of havoc up there.
Yep. And as soon as Inkster put that smother on, what Grokey did, he realised that there was a chance. We see the smother here, I think, coming up. Yep, there it is. Beautiful smother. As soon as that happened, Grokey just took off towards the goals. He backed them in and bucked McKenzie again. Jason McKenzie just got caught watching the football.
So the ball now with Adam Grokey. He really needs to kick this. Comes in, it's a good-looking shot on goal, but it's drifted off to the right-hand side again. So the Eagles aren't making the Doggies pay at the moment, Ben, because they've had to run a play. Paul Lindsay's having a spell. He's been fantastic on ball so far for the Eagles side, but they've just missed a few easy ones.
They have, and you can see that bit of breeze. It's taking it across to the right-hand side there, and the Eagles boys haven't quite picked up on that. They need to be just inside that left-hand goal post. Otherwise, they'll be probably 3 or 4 more goals up.
3-4 plays a goal at the moment. The Eagles doing the majority of the attacking.
Legal tackle, let him up, let him up.
Look at those inside 50s. It's 2-1, the Eagles. 10 overall to 5 entries by Centrals. Now Inkster off the right boot, high inside 50. Rugolo first to the ball, taps it in front, could have been held. Wilson now taken over the line. And again, you can see Westbrook was hanging off him, and the Centrals players go over and congratulate Wilson, but he's being dragged again by Westbrook back to the square.
And out goes Grokey back out to centre half forward. So that's obviously the plan today.
Cochrane belts it forward, picked up by McKay, couldn't take clean possession. Jacobs slips a hand past to Fiachi, and then on to Treby, high. Wilson with the punch, well roved by Thomas. Can he get a handle? Finally he does. Releases Westhoff. Westhoff's got a bit of room to move. He can go down the line to his brother. He goes high and longer than that. Punching over the top, Hall. Now O'Sullivan. Hand pass release to Justin Westhoff. Inside 50, props it up for Lee Westhoff. Runs onto it again. He'll want his left leg taken to ground. Hand pass slipped out to Cowan. Now back to Justin Westhoff. Oh, and he tries a banana. Up to the goal square, punched away and through for the minor score. And I don't think James Gowans was too impressed with that kick.
No, the banana kick carried it with the wind as well to the wrong side where James Gowans was. He had to put that out probably 20 or 30 metres on the right-hand side of James Gowans, and he would have been much happier.
Ball brought in for the Eagles. Sikalella getting a bit of the football, goes in towards Hall, the veteran. Back there towards Sikalella. Trying to set up play now, goes the other side. Big Jacobs. Big strapping young man, young Sam Jacobs. Played for the South Australian under-18 side in the Carnival last week.
He's a big lad. Still be in the under-18s. It's, I guess the AFL clubs these days are looking for anyone that's big and tall and a little bit mobile.
It's been touched, play on, said the umpire, goes the outer side. Colville handball over the top, comes towards Grokey, holds the ball on play. He's got a bit of pace about him, he's had a couple of bounces as well. Now kicks in looking for Passador again, and what can you do about that? The movement of the football was fantastic by the Eagles.
And big Jason McKenzie, Grant, sorry to butt in. Big Jason McKenzie was caught lumbering about 30 or 40 metres behind and just giving Grokey far too much space. And you see the agility of Grokey, beautiful foot skills, and Mark Passador again, the go-to man for the Eagles.
So Passador's kicked 1 goal 3 so far. Has a shot on goal, it's gone across the face. Up they go, Jared has a fly at the football, but it's gone through for another behind. We'll call that one rushed, I think, Ben.
Okay, we'll go with that, Grant.
So we don't put that against young Mark Passador.
Would have been his 3rd point.
Schooler moved it on to half forward, eventually to Slade, well gathered, and then he's gathered up. And we'll get a centre bounce, or a bounce near the centre anyway.
I think Ronnie Fuller concerned with the mobility of Justin Westhoff. So what he's done is actually put Rob Fiachi onto him. Joey Pedler's come off the ground. So sacrificing a little bit of height, but just wanting that extra touch of speed.
More contested ball, more no result. Griffin warming up, Jonathan Griffin. Warming up at the moment for his first run, it would be, Sotis.
Yes, certainly would be. He's just going to be ready now with McKenzie playing at centre half back on Grokey. Doing the ruck work, of course, today will be Griffin alternating with Schooler.
Eagles have done well, 16 points the margin. And again, we get contested ball, and again, we get no result, and again, we're going to get a ball up. Craig Doddridge coming in.
Might be a bit wayward in his goal kicking, but Mark Passador is actually the leading ball getter on the ground with 9 possessions, 5 kicks, 4 handballs.
Gee, and he's playing a full forward. Pretty good, as Schooler perhaps had the better of that. Powell, Sikalella, now to Shattuck. Up to half forward, Rugolo found some space, looks for Passador on the lead, over the back, West Rourke couldn't bring it down. Oh, he gets it on the ground. Off the left foot, the snap is a goal. Brilliant. Great follow-up.
Well, they're under attack down there, and the Central District's back line trying to stand up manfully, but at the moment the Eagles are all on top of them, and I guess that's coming from the pressure up the ground and the quick movement in. And a great snap goal, and the Eagles just extend that lead.
And Ben, how was the second effort there by David Westbrook? Fantastic.
Oh, super, super. I mean, if you get guys who can fly for a football, hit the deck, then be aware to get straight back onto the ball again, I mean, they're hungry for the ball at the moment, and that's showing the scoreboard.
So back in the middle, Powell with the football. The Doggies have got it back though through Gowans. It's James over the top to Ware. Need to set something up here. Kicks inside 50 as Ware down there looking for Shell. Hasn't had many opportunities so far. Up against Hall. Back handball over there looking for Gowans. It's Chris trying to hold the ball in play, and the umpire will come in right on the 50-metre line to ball it up just before quarter time. The Doggies desperately need a score here. The Eagles have had all the run in the first quarter. So the big fella Jacobs up, taps the ball down, comes out towards Shaddock. Good smother there by the Dogs. Comes out towards Shell, to Gowans, over the top towards Thomas. Got a shot from 45, it's a poor kick, and it's gone out of play. Umpire will throw it in, up against the behind post. And some of the kicking so far, Ben, by the Doggies hasn't been so good at the moment.
No, it hasn't. I mean, their disposal's been a little bit average by foot, and that's a bit unlike them as well, especially the likes of Paul Thomas we saw then. He's got excellent foot skills, so wouldn't be overly happy with that disposal.
Good work there by Jacobs again. Got the ball down in front of his teammate, but the ball's gone out of play.
They'll be very desperate around this stoppage because Central District, like you said before, Grant, they have to get something from this. They really have to get some more results on the board.
James the ball.
Cowan and Jacobs go at it again. Cowan perhaps the better of it, or that might have been a throw. Sullivan taken to ground, that might have been in the back. Both called play on. Now Colville back to Shattuck. Good move by Shattuck. Through the middle of the ground found Powell. Powell now, as they break, there's not a lot on offer though, so he decides to hold it up. We're beyond 31 minutes in this term. Now he chips it over the top to Jacobs. Jacobs thought about the handball. McKenzie said, no, hold it. Take your time. Eagles counting down the clock, and well done. So they averted the danger that was presented by the Bulldogs there. Managed to clear the ball and hold it up. And at quarter time, the Eagles 4-5-29, leading Central District 1-1-7.
Well, an excellent first quarter by the Eagles. And Central District's a little bit shell-shocked at the moment. Both these teams coming off a string of wins, so 5 and 6 wins. Maybe the difference, the Eagles coming out with some fresh legs, and Central Districts having played in the wet last week on heavy ground. That may be playing a bit of an influence at the moment, but you'd expect that might come into the cards a little bit later on the ground. Game.
Well, there's a doubleheader at the Adelaide Oval this afternoon, and already one match has been played in Norwood. 22-16, 148. Big win over West Adelaide. 14-16, 100. Although I venture to say the Bloods, that was a pretty good score for the Bloods to kick, sitting there as you see at the bottom of the table, and that's how the premiership table has changed. Norwood moving up there and pressuring for a position in the top 5.
Well, they are. A very important win for Norwood, and Westies, unfortunately, after a great, such a great hard-fought loss last week against Central Districts, just not able to back it up against Norwood today.
No, well, last time the two clubs, Centrals and the Eagles, met was the grand final rematch on Anzac Day. We're going to run through a few of the highlights of what was a fantastic afternoon of football, and once again the Eagles came to play.
Well, they did. They came out. I remember speaking to Ron Fuller before the game and mentioned about the grand final. He said, well, there's nothing you can do to turn that around, and he's obviously very dark about what happened the previous year, but the Eagles came out to play here, and they came out to prove a point, and that's exactly the way they started. And they had a lot of match winners on the day, and Central Districts did. I mean, the Eagles had started the season a little bit slowly, as the Centrals had, and the Eagles made the most of their opportunities in this day.
A couple of things to note about this game. Statistically, over the season, this season, they haven't actually improved their points output as such, but they certainly look different up forward, the Eagles. Mark Passador, in fact, I think it was 6 goals he kicked and was best on ground.
He was that day. He won the medal, so Mark Passador, as we've seen today already in this game, a very important player, and their forward structure, they had a lot of restructuring to do, the Eagles, at the start of this year, and I guess that's why it's taken a little bit of time to warm up, but had their last 8 or 9 games. I think they've only lost to 1 game, and that's standing in good stead for the rest of the season as well. And looking towards that grand final that I'm sure they'd love to get back.
We know, of course, the Eagles are the form team of the competition, having won 6 in a row. With Centrals that haven't been too bad either, having won 5 in a row after a shaky start to the season for the 2nd year in a row.
Yeah, I mean, the Centrals did take a while to warm up last year, and they've done the same this year. Both teams, I guess, coming off the grand final as well, they probably started later with their pre-season, so maybe the league's 3 or 4 weeks a little bit behind some of the other teams that maybe started their pre-season a bit earlier. Interesting to note, with the Eagles, they've actually played more players than any other team, or actually the same amount as West Adelaide. They've played 39 players this year, both West Adelaide and the Eagles. So, I mean, when you compare that to other teams that played maybe high 20s or low 30s in terms of their numbers of actual players, that's a really good return to be so, I guess, pushing for that top spot and so competitive week in, week out with such a big turnaround.
Well, it shows a surprising amount of depth, really, doesn't it?
It does, it really does. And, they've got AFL guys coming in and out, and that helps, that strengthens the team actually playing, but also that can unbalance the team occasionally.
Well, as you say, that forces changes. I guess if you look at that, then it maybe some of it's not due to injury. You've got 7 or 8,
definitely.
I think it is 8 AFL listed players at the Eagles, so that creates, as you say, a bit of a turnover that would be unexpected and unusual, and certainly they brought it together pretty well on that afternoon, Anzac Day. The Eagles 16-15, 111 over Central District 13-10, 88. Mark Passador, as we mentioned, kicking 6 goals, and that was certainly a tremendous effort from Passador. He's been in good form this afternoon, albeit not in front of goal. Down to Sodas now. You've been listening to the Eagles, Sodas.
Yeah, Ronnie Fuller, rather pretty pumped up. We heard him before the game that the Eagles have concentrated on getting quick starts. Today, against the Breeze, they've made another terrific start. And the Breeze still is pretty significant out here. It's picked up before the game. It wasn't that strong. Probably worth a good couple of goals. So Eagles starting very well. A big problem for Central Districts is the fact Jason McKenzie is playing at centre-half back on Adam Grokey. Grokey coming off probably his best game for the Eagles a couple of weeks back against Norwood. Now, McKenzie played very well at full-back last week against Wiggins for West Adelaide, but Grokey just seems to have a little bit too much mobility for McKenzie, so there could be a change there. Now, earlier today in the reserves game, Nathan Bock had a run. He's been struggling with a back injury all season. He hurt that with the Crows doing some weights earlier in the year. He got through pretty well. He played in the reserves for Sturt last week, and he looked pretty good today, so we could see him back with the Crows soon.
Yes, Nathan Bock. And according to Grant Coffey, who saw the majority of that reserves match, he thought Bock was actually best on ground. So he's obviously building, and that was late in the game, time on in the last quarter when the Eagles were fairly comfortably 5 or 6 goals in front. He came off the ground. In the league match, well, the Gowans boys, they've been very interesting. They've had a good day out so far. There's been a little bit of push and shove, a little bit of push and shove, and a little bit more push and shove. They haven't done much on the scoreboard, Centrals, but there's been plenty of push and shove.
I guess that's why the Gowans are trying to do that. They're trying to get their team up. They're trying to get a bit of niggle into the Eagles and maybe distract some of the Eagles players and get their mind off the game. But at the moment, the Eagles, whilst they have had a bit of fisticuffs and a bit of push and shove, there's nothing too major in it, but the Eagles are just coping with it beautifully.
So a quick look through those goal kickers with Chris Knights kicking 2, and then, of course, having to come off the ground. And it's 22 points the margin as we quickly look through those stats.
Yeah, not a lot in it apart from the fact that the Eagles are killing them all over the ground, so getting a lot of the football.
Soda's on the boundary line with the CEO of the SANFL, Lee Wicker.
Yes, certainly a very special guest. Now, Lee, congratulations are in order. Last night, Sturt had the celebration of their 1926, 66 and 76 premiership sides. But importantly as well, there was some induction into the Hall of Fame. And you were recognised for your services as a player and an administrator at the footy club. That's a mouthful, isn't it? But congratulations.
Thanks, Mark. It was absolutely a delight and a big surprise to me. It was a great night put on by the club, well attended by the past players of both the 76 and 66 teams. And yeah, I was blown away with the recognition, and I was very appreciative of the Sturt Football Club bestowing that honour upon me.
You mentioned that it was well attended. 17 of the 20 players involved in 1966 were there, and there were a few old stories, Swap, weren't there?
Oh, absolutely. They were actually a very tight-knit group, as you could see last night, and I think those reunions are fantastic for SANFL clubs, and brings back the heritage of what the SANFL is all about.
Well, Lee, thanks for having a chat with us, and congratulations on your induction into the Sturt Hall of Fame.
Thanks very much, Mark. Cheers.
Second quarter action, it's the Eagles by 22 points. Good mark there by Treby. Back with the fly to the footy, runs onto the left foot, kicks down towards Simons. Good mark in front. The Eagles have started off well again. He kicks long, inside 50. Wasn't a good kick, though, as Wilson pushed back, took a good mark. They're trying to get Wilson deep in defence because he provides a lot of run off half-back. Sets up a lot of good play for the central side. Young Griffin starting off on ball for the Doggies. Started the second quarter up against Lindsay. Had a great first quarter. Comes grandstand side Treby. That's a good mark, though, by Treby. Been one of the better players. Centres the football towards Angster. No one wants to stand the mark, so he decides to play on quickly. Goes in long, Passador, who's got a fly, can't take the mark, comes down towards Westbrook, gives over Rugalo, around the corner. It's going to lob in the goal square and bounce through for a behind. But the Eagles there once again in numbers, Ben. Yeah, what's been really impressive so far today, the likes of the Trebys, the Powers, the Inksters, the Rugalos, getting a lot of the football and just supporting their probably more higher profile players like the Sikalellas and Colvilles.
In the first quarter, Ben, to back that up, Eagles had 13 players with 5 or more possessions. The Dogs had 1.
Margin out to 23 points. That's a beautiful kick from Swatala. Found Ware loose at 60 metres. Ware will want to go for the wing. He does so eventually, but the delay meant that there was a shutdown by the Eagles. Now it's on centre wing. Chris and James Gowans work it. Now it comes back to Obst. Obst takes his time, boots it inside 50. Not the greatest of kicks. It still might get to Shell. It will get to Shell. It might get a goal. No, great smother by Hall. Still comes out to O'Sullivan. Wants to go with the hand pass. Now Hall bursting through the veteran. Gets it wide to McKenzie. McKenzie takes his time down the line. Grandstand side for Rugalo. And coming in late, knocking the ball away was Swatala.
We see the likes of, of Hall down back, fantastic smother, and then we've got Lukey Powell doing a great chase and tackle. I mean, that's the stuff that's going to get the Eagles going today.
Lindsay and Ruck palms it down. O'Sullivan almost intercepts. Powell takes it away from him. Now the tackle. Wait on the umpire. We'll get another bounce.
And then the next thing Luke Powell does, he works hard to get to the next contest, next fight, and gets his hands on the football. So just super stuff so far from Luke Powell.
Lindsay taps the ball down to Cooper. Treby off a step down towards Rugalo. In comes Wilson. Couldn't take it, and the ball's gone out of play. But the Eagles once again in numbers.
And Grant, been very impressed with Matty Cooper since he's come across from Sturt. I mean, he was a good player at Sturt. Maybe last year, a few injuries and didn't quite get the opportunities he wanted. And since being at the Eagles, he's been super impressive.
He's had a great year. Comes out now towards Powell. A throw, said the umpire. Could be a 25 as well. Bit undisciplined there. Luke Powell just kicked the ball away after the umpire had already awarded the free kick for a throw. Like a bit of a tunnel ball there. Tried to just hand it off to the teammate quietly without the umpire seeing, but he was in good position. So Thomas with the football.
Probably been Central's best so far, Paul Thomas, I'd say.
He has. Spent last year at Essendon. Didn't get much of a run there, but got the taste of AFL football, which he deserved after winning the Magarey medal. Kicks long along the wing, down there looking for Cowan. Can't take it in front. Cowan goes back in again, gives the handball to Gowans. His handball missed Ware. Chris Gowans goes back again, but Treby, he's been good so far. O'Sullivan's there. Play on, said the umpire. Gowans off the carpet. It's gone out of play on the full, though. That's probably been the luck of the Bulldogs today. So Hall will have the free kick. So there's a change. Young Alex Stengel coming on for his first run today. Elijah Ware having a spell. So Hall with the foot comes grandstand side, looking there for Lee. Stengel over the back. Has his first kick, first touch, 25 metres as well. So Stengel just onto the ground. He's going to play on, but I think the umpire's called time on. So this could be a good start for the young fella, Ben, because he's come straight onto the ground, taking a mark and having a shot on goal.
I reckon he was on for about 2 seconds when he took that mark, got the penalty, and should go back and have a shot. Left-hand post.
Back himself in, just to the left post. No, wants to go off. McCabe's there, and McCabe takes the mark. Been a bit quiet so far, Luke McCabe.
I was going to say, Lukey McCabe hasn't been on the end of many footballs today so far.
No, he's had 1 handball prior to this.
So McCabe...
Sorry, the Dogs have taken 4 marks this quarter to match their whole output for the first quarter.
Very experienced campaigner, Luke McCabe. Played juniors at Centrals before going to Hawthorn. Was a great player over there. comes in now. That's a good-looking shot on goal. That's gone straight through the middle. That's the goal that Doggies needed. His first in the afternoon. Central second. And a much-needed goal, kicking against a slight breeze, Ben.
Yeah, slight breeze. I mean, it is taking it across to the right. So the kick, exactly what the Eagles probably couldn't do on 2 or 3 occasions. It's just aim inside that left post, let that little bit of breeze take it. And Luke McCabe, with his experience, goes back and finishes that. And the Centrals are missing Luke McCabe so far today because last week I think it was their second or third best, and he's had, again, an excellent season after last year, probably a little bit of an injury interrupted season.
Well, a good start to the quarter for Centrals. Statistically, this season, second quarter is their worst. 4 wins, 8 losses. James Gowans, he went through with intent there. Power was good. And the ball released now by Shattuck to Jarrett inside 50, barrel punt. Don't think he meant it. Out the back, travelling towards the boundary line, and Sivanela intent to see it over.
Yeah, that's spinning beautifully, didn't he? Like a torpedo. It was only about 10 metres off the ground, and a beautiful swing. This is that take. Look at that. I mean, that's a great take. Gowans is trying to clean you up, and Lukey Powell, eyes on the footy. Great take, good spin and addition. Now we see the footy up in the Eagles' attacking line.
17 points the margin. Grokey going with Mackenzie, who will in this situation have a big advantage of weight. O'Sullivan released it, and in the end having to be rushed through by James Gowans, and that's indicative of the pressure that's been put on 1-1 by the Eagles.
So Elijah Ware looks like he's going to come back on.
Yeah, Coffey's just about to come back on, as you mentioned. Now, just an update on Chrissy Knights. He has definitely jagged a driver, so we won't see him for the rest of the game. He did carry that injury into today's game, so probably not quite ready to play. And just on the breeze, it's actually quite astounding that 5 of the 6 goals have been kicked against the breeze so far today, because it is pretty significant.
Ball comes out now towards Rugolo. Has a shot on goal. So wobbly old kick's gone out of play. And so does the windsock. Actually looks like it's going across the ground, but it's obviously a bit deceiving. Well, it is going across the ground to a degree, but certainly favouring the right-hand way to goals there. So they might have done a few Kevin Sheedy tricks, perhaps, and just got the windsock angled nicely to put Centrals off. So players going in after the football. Gowans in there once again, always at the bottom of the pack. That was James Gowans. So it'll be Mackenzie up against Grokey. Grokey was very good in the first quarter. Really gone to another level since he's come to the Eagles. Been a very good player. Gowans once again gets it over the top to Wilson. Now handball to Thomas. Running off defensive 50. Comes grandstand side. Slade can't take it. Good work by Colville. Got the thump. Comes out towards Lindsay. He's been fantastic to Sikalella. He's got plenty of time. He's got plenty of tricks as well, Sikalella. Kicks inside 50, but Wilson once again just fills up the hole, takes a good mark. Now just looking for options. I think he's looking for the switch. Just holds up play. Central's making a bit of space. Now the umpire's called play on. So Wilson comes grandstand side. It's a wobbly old kick, and Treby takes the easiest of marks. So Treby goes in short towards Cooper. Liked his game so far, Cooper. Wheels around onto the left. Westbrook's got the set left right with him. We've got it. Oh, what a mark by Westbrook. I actually saw that coming last week, Ben. That was a fantastic fly by Westbrook, and he's been lively up there, can really fly at the football.
Yeah, he loves a jump, and he loves a goal. So it was a beautiful kick too coming in. I mean, that was the Matty Cooper getting on the end of it and putting the kick right to the hot spot, I guess. We always talk about the hot spot, that 30 metres, 15 or 20 metres out of goal, right in front, and put Central District's defenders under pressure again.
So Westbrook kicked one in the first quarter. Very dangerous up forward. Comes in now. It's a good-looking shot on goal. The umpire does not even move. Kicks it straight over the top of his head. That's a great goal there by Westbrook. His second. Let's just have a look at that grab. That was an absolute fantastic mark. He just had to sit, came in from the side.
And without using anyone, he's actually he's sprung. He's jumped probably shoulder height and taken a very strong grab at that spot, which is so dangerous. And you see all the Central Districts boys looking around for their player and trying to, I guess, compete and trying to hold people out. But then Westbrook, with that bit of a run and jump, he's done beautifully there. And just a reply, very important reply for the Eagles, because Central's got the first goal of the quarter, and I'm sure they wouldn't have liked that. So a very important reply for the Eagles, and maybe they'll keep going now.
Hate to highlight it, but Adrian Wilson's poor kick out of defence allowed Westbrook to get the mark, and that's his direct opponent. Griffin releases it. Again, Cicolella with the dummy. Rugolo is very strong in front. Interesting battle that is between Obst and Rugolo, because Obst obviously has a lot of height to work with and Rugolo a lot of pace. Now Cicolella. Cicolella looks up. Nice little chip. Westbrook again. Westbrook making Wilson accountable. Hand pass off to Colville, missed his target. Colville and Cicolella have a look at it. Now Colville inside 50 with the long kick. Trevey, trap, hand pass. Right foot from Inkster, not the greatest. Close to the point post, and Brokey pulled it down and out of bounds.
Jonathan Griffin coming off the ground for Central. Bit of experience back on. Paul Sculler into the ruck.
Be important because Griffin a couple of times got out-bodied and out-maneuvered there, so it'd be an important move.
Schooler combining with McKenzie there to effectively keep Brokey out of the contest. Now Ware, maybe taken high, uses his pace, gets away. Delivery not the best. James Gowan's out of bounds.
They're, I guess, because they're under the pump, under pressure back there, Central's disposal, which is normally a key point, has just been a little bit lacking at the moment, and their run from defence has certainly been quaffed as well by the Eagles attackers.
Then what?
Slowed down. It was a squashed cross with a...
Quaffed, I think you're talking red wine. Yeah, I know you've got the gloves on up here, Benny, but fair dinkum. It's not that cold.
Ball now comes out towards Simons, 55 out from goal. Great tackle there by Chris Gowans. Receives the free kick on his defensive 50. The Eagles are away then. Goes the outer side. He's got young Obst on the Crows list. Developing player. He's a good player as well. Goes along the outer side, but Jared once again in front. He's been impressive on his wing today. He's a long-kicking, hard-running wingman. Goes in short to Westbrook. He's been dangerous. Kicked a couple of goals. Goes in towards half-forward. The Eagles have got numbers. Comes to Cooper. He's been everywhere. Now he goes long. Kick was partly smothered. The Doggies have got numbers. Nobbs takes the mark.
It's a clever kick coming forward because it was actually like a three-quarter kick, I guess, that dropped short because they saw Sculler going back into to clog up the attack.
So Obst now, handball over the top towards Sculler. The big fella comes grandstand side, looking there for Ware. Had a taste of AFL football this year, and he showed a bit as well.
Yeah, good use of the body against Gavin Colville, an experienced player.
He's got Thomas on his own. Kicks into space. The veteran Hall runs after the football. That's great work there by Hall. Tries to get it back there towards Powell. Good work by the Doggies. And it was O'Sullivan to hold the ball in. And he's been good. I'm not sure if you've seen much of him, Ben, but he's been a good pickup for Centrals this year.
He has. I mean, he's been another in and under, and with the big turnover that Centrals have had, especially at the start of this year, it's important to bring a few young players through.
Comes out to that player now. O'Sullivan tries to handball the ball in front of him. Can't do so. Ball goes out of play in the clubhouse pocket. Stephen Hall there. He has been a great player over many years.
Dow defender, isn't he?
He has.
Don't often get an easy kick on him.
So Jacobs about to come back on. Passador having a spell. That's a bit surprising. The ball now. McCabe goes in, tries to crash his way through. Can't do so. James Gowans, he's been under plenty of packs today. Tries to crash his way through. Umpire lets it go. And we'll have a ball up 45 metres out from the Central's goal, who desperately need a steadier here.
Jacobs straight into the action, down to Shattuck. Shattuck forced to his non-preferred kicker wide on the far side. The pace of Thomas should get in there first. No, he decides to wait. Well done by Jared, came through with the left fist, just putting it out of bounds.
With Passador coming off the ground and Jacobs on, he's gone into the ruck. Paul Lindsay's been pushed to full forward, and just as the runner came out there, Lindsay started to jog towards the bench, thinking he's going to get a bit of a rest, but he's been sent forward.
And we see Chris Knight sitting there on the bench as well, so it's still obviously his day's over, putting the blankets over the legs.
Yeah, no doubt about that. We touched on that before. Just the driver strain again. Once again, he did come into the game with that. We saw that by the big thermoskin band around his thigh. So very disappointing for him, for the Eagles, and also for the Adelaide Crows.
Should have the word captioned underneath him, disappointment, because you can see it written all over him, can't you?
That bottom lip couldn't get much lower.
Schooler across half-back, short to Westhoff. That's Lee Westhoff. Still wide, and they've been forced wide and often this afternoon. The Dogs, just not their normal flow. Westhoff forced to kick high and long to half forward. Shattuck came late, flashed into one of his own, didn't get up very high. Now the Dogs have some numbers. The pack running forward of the play. The kick now to Justin Westhoff. Another brilliant pickup by the young man. Around the corner, the vision was excellent, and they almost muck it up. But McCabe got there before James Gowans, and he gets the congratulations and an easy goal for the Dogs.
So Lukey McKay's got his 2 goals for the quarter, but again, look at the agility of the big fella. Justin Westhoff, he's only, how old is he? He's only 19-year-old fella, and he's, you know, a very good sort of prospect. I'm sure there's a lot of AFL clubs licking their lips at the ball handling, also the agility, and therefore the, you know, the finishing skills of that big man.
Big already seen a couple of recruiting managers here today having a bit of a look at him. So Big Schooler taps the ball down. Central's trying to muster something up here. Slade going in, but Ciclello, great awareness, gave the handball out towards Inkster. Had one bounce, now kicks long. Down there looking for Rugolo. Can't take the mark, but he'll receive the free kick. In the back, said the umpire. So Rugolo now plays on quickly, goes over the top to Grokey. He's been everywhere. Centres the football. That's good work to Simons. Got the set. That's great work there by the Eagles. Moved the ball on quickly and very impressed again with Grokey. Just centred the ball to Simons, and he just had the set.
A beautiful kick. I mean, Obbs gave away the free kick to Rugolo on the far side because after they competed, Obbs went to ground and just had to pull Rugolo down, I guess, to try and slow it back. But getting the football moving and the kick coming in, it's just hit to the right spot and a good strong grab.
So Simons, a very good young player, comes in and he's put that straight through the middle. That's his first goal of the afternoon. And they're just very damaging players, just making space in the forward lines for each other.
They are. I mean, we saw Passador going off a second ago, and he's been the go-to man for the first quarter and a half. But then the likes of these other guys, like Simons, can stand up and kick a few goals. And we see Lindsay going right down to full forward, which has put Buckets McKenzie down to full back on him. Now, McKenzie probably be a little bit happier being off Grokey, which Sivanail's gone to. But it's just continuous pressure coming into the Eagles forward line, and Central's at the moment just not quite standing up to it.
Margin 4 goals. There were times when I thought Central's, or rather the Eagles, hadn't taken advantage of the amount of ball they'd had. Now they're starting to assert some influence. But if the Archie taken down, can't slip the ball away, we'll get a secondary bounce still in that centre square. Slightly ahead of centre for Centrals.
Roy Laird just shuffling his defenders now. Eve Sibanaala's come up to Grokey at centre half back. And because McKenzie's gone down to full back and he's picking up Lindsay, who's resting at full forward.
Ciclello, clever, couldn't slip a clean hand pass to Inkster. Tried to get it forward. Now the Dogs, they work hard. Slade over the top row. Sullivan, take, break, inside 50. Westhoff tried to get to it. Now the numbers with the Eagles, they should get away. McKenzie gets away now. Little slip of a kick over the top. There's plenty of space to work with. Colville flanked by Jarrett. You talked about a long striding wingman. Jarrett's in. Down to half forward, he goes with a kick. Grokey and Sibanaila battle. At the back, Wilson taken down. Did he release a hand pass? Umpire called play on Sibanaila, missed the body. Now McKenzie, that came off Simmons. That's out of bounds on the full. So a free kick will go to Central District, and boy, the Eagles, once they sprung it, they did move it well.
Central just under pressure again. You see they're just getting a little bit panicky down there. Big Buckets McKenzie getting on the end of that, and very lucky to get the free kick with the clearance.
So Cochrane with the football, switches play to Switala. Looks like one of the Beatles at the moment, Swither.
With Richie Cochrane playing back up.
Comes out to Thomas, the kick wasn't the best. He received the free kick, Colville held on. Seen umpire Richard Williams. And he was lucky there because the Eagles had numbers once again, as they have all day. So Thomas crosses the play once again, goes over towards Hayes.
They're still in trouble with that ground because they've just got nowhere to go. I mean, the Eagles are letting them cross the ground like that, but they've got nothing across, sort of, I guess, coming through their half back.
So Slade finds McKenzie.
And where to now?
The Eagles have pushed all the numbers back. So Mackenzie's forced to go long. Down there looking for Cowan. But over the back is Shaddock. That's a good mark. Plays on. Now goes back inside. Down there towards Powell. Slade up. In there's Westbrook. Over the top towards Cooper. Handball over the top wasn't the best. Obbs tries to give the ball out to Wilson. Had the head over the footy and will receive the free kick.
That's a dangerous one there where big Paul Lindsay coming in and Wilson over the football coming in straight to head high. It's a dangerous one we don't want to see too often.
So Wilson kicks out there, finds Thomas. But the Eagles are doing well, pushing numbers back. Centrals have got the loose play, decide to go back to the other side of the ground to Mackenzie. He's got a bit of space in front of him now. Can run with a footy, decides to kick it out there towards Chris Gowans. But the Eagles are just holding up play. Kicks down there looking for Cowan. That's better by Cowan in front. He's had a hard day up against Mackenzie so far. Kicks long. Down there looking for Westhoff, can't take it. In there goes Ware, around the corner, it was smothered. And the desperation so far, Ben, by the Eagles has been fantastic.
Yep, another great Sunday. We've seen that 3 or 4 times as Soda's an important change down there.
Certainly is. David Westbrook, who's been pretty good so far with his 2 goals, is coming off for a spell. Mark Passador back onto the forward line, and the defenders are just starting to change over for Central, working out the best match. Sibanala going back onto Passador.
And big Mackenzie going, oh, you beauty, straight back to Grokey.
Elijah Ware slipped a hand pass. Eagles with numbers in defence. Taking the ground, Colville. There's an appeal and an umpiring decision, and it is that we'll have another ball up.
Mackenzie's now picking up Jacobs. He's gone to rest up forward. And Andrew Hayes now has the job on Grokey. As we mentioned, Grokey been pretty good so far at centre-half forward.
Here's Ware. Slippery. Got away, couldn't get a kick. Got it back to Chris Gowans. Off a step. Don't think, oh, well. I thought that was partially smothered and or not 15, but umpire decided it wasn't smothered. And now Cooper gets one across the ear. And I know that Matthew Cooper won't be happy about that. And he has had some ringing in his ears and trouble with his hearing. And that won't make it any easier as he turns over the ball. Hall goes off the ground, out of bounds on the full under pressure. Elijah Ware will take the free kick.
Well, he's done some very good things today. The Smothers, the Chasers, the Shepherds. That soccer skills probably going a little bit beyond him at the moment.
So Elijah Ware from one of the very deep pockets here. There's a lot of runoff across the boundary here at the Woodville Oval. Ware likes what he sees, decides to have a go at it. A difficult kick and the breeze, and he's made it look easy. That's a team lifter.
You couldn't get a more difficult kick than that one from the pocket. It's the wind's blowing up the other end and away from goal, like in that direction the ball took. I mean, we saw him start it probably on the left post, and that was a fantastic kick. We see the free kick beforehand to Cooper, which was definitely there, but that kick by Ware, he's got that little bit of natural bend from right to left. He's just counteracted the breeze, pretty much held it straight and popped it straight through. What a fantastically well judged and well weighted kick by Elijah Ware.
So back within 3 goals, the Doggies. In there goes Cicalella once again, very good in the crunches. Now comes out towards Lee Westhoff. Up and under kick, Lindsay goes in once again. Cochrane's also in there, can't get the ball out. Now it comes out towards Simons. Tries to get a handball out, Thomas. It's tough in the clinches there at the moment. The umpire will come in and ball it down once again. But just the work in and under the packs, both players, both sides have got a lot of players hard at the footy, Ben.
Yeah, definitely, and you know, the Smalls are certainly working hard, and Central's trying a few things with Westhoff and McCabe in there on ball at the moment.
So McCabe goes in there. Could have been a free kick against Westhoff there. But the umpire said he handballed it out.
Elijah Ware just looking to run forward then, so probably lucky for the Eagles that they could bottle it up again.
So Schoolett tries to tap the ball down. In there is Powell once again, just holds the ball up. Simon's in there. Also Chris Gowans. It's a bit of an arm wrestle in the centre, Neil. See if he can clear it for us.
Well, Richard Williams, the umpire, throwing it up again. Schoolett straight down to Cicalella, who tried twice and eventually, on the second occasion, cleared the ball from the pack. Grokey picked it up under pressure straight away. And Hayes is not one to let go in a tackle. Now get a ball up inside forward 50 again for the Eagles. Another opportunity. McKenzie did well. Wilson missed it.
One-on-one Passador.
Now it goes to Sikalella. Turns and turns again. And in the end, he goes short. Stretch, no. Simmons, no mark. He follows up. In the back of Chris Gowans. Well, I thought that should have been a free kick. Now James Gowans down the line he goes. Schooler in there on Cooper. And we'll get a ball in.
Sicalella's eyes lit up. He saw Passador one-on-one and thought, that's perfect. That's exactly what we want. We just couldn't quite get around and went for the short catch and or the short kick, sorry, and not able to grab that mark.
Schooler, Cooper. Gee, he hunts the ball when he's in form, Matthew Cooper. And that's what he brought to the Sturt side in 2002 for the premiership. Swapping across to the Eagles this season. Let's have a look at Sikalella. As you can see, the eyes darting. He wasn't confident he could get the distance. Wanted the right foot.
Knew what he wanted.
But didn't have enough space to get the distance. Here's Obst. Wants his right foot. Down the line he goes, looking for Shell. Haven't seen much of him today. Well minded by Hall, and such was the case again. Shattuck turns back inside. Decides to go by hand. Off to Fiachi. Rugelo's down there and might run onto it. He'll find it hard to run onto that ball as it runs over the boundary. And as you said, a great spoil coming in there from Wilson.
Yeah, the impact of that spoil, I mean, to punch it 20 or 30 metres away, because Rugelo was right in the perfect spot, front and centre for the crumb. And with that big punch from Wilson, it was the ball was cleared, and Rugelo maybe ruining his missed chance.
Deep into the second quarter, McKenzie taps the ball down towards Ware. Got a bit of time, handball over towards Wilson. Wilson, he needs to get rid of it quickly, does so to Obst. He's run himself into trouble. Back there to Wilson. On his preferred left foot, kicks long down towards half forward. Cowan in front. Oh, that's a strong mark, Cowan. That's what he can do. He's got a great set of hands. One out is Westhoff in the square. Goes in that direction. He's got the set. Jarrett's in front. Good spoil. Comes out towards Fiachi, out of sight of the ground. Wheels around on the left. Brokey once again found space. Took a good mark. Plays on quickly towards Simons, running through the middle of the ground. Kicking in long towards Passador once again. Oh, that's a great mark there by Passador. He's got sticky hands, and that just stuck in the big mitts. Passador just on a lead, very hard to stop. Very strong hands, excellent. But up the other end, the kick, that was the problem for Central Districts going to their forward line. The kick went across the other side. We had a 2-on-1 situation on the lead with an open ground in front of them. So the kick had to stay on this grandstand side of the ground, because otherwise it opened it up. And Eagles bang, bang, bang up to Passador and should finish with the goal. So Passador kicked 1 goal 3. He's had the yips a bit today, and he's missed another one. This one of the left-hand side. So he's just presenting so well, but just letting himself down with his kicking today. He is. I mean, he's been on the bench for the last 10 minutes or so, so that's the first touch, I think, since he's been on. And again, a missed opportunity.
Still made.
Ben Knights, pretty generous in your commentary there too, because really, from that sort of distance, a couple of times, Passador has let his team down, and himself, no doubt. Schooler, slightly forward of half back, drops it into the middle, dangerous, just carried. A couple of fumbles then by Cochrane, got it out to Westhoff. Westhoff just planted it on the boot, down to half forward. Gowans maybe knocked it on. Ware certainly took it well. From 40 metres, he slots a goal! No!
Great grab.
On the line. Brilliant from Fiachi. Absolutely brilliant. Let's have another quick look at it. Right on the line. Now he goes wide, and Jarrett takes a big leap. Umpire deemed that it was in the back, as Jarrett tried to say, I was going for the ball. Quickly zoomed inside, 50 for the Bulldogs. Justin Westhoff across to James Gowans, and this is an interesting shot on goal for James Gowans, who is two-sided. Might even opt for the left foot.
You never know, because he'll be kicking pretty much straight through. No, he's passed off.
And he did it whilst the umpire had called time on and was setting the mark, so it will return to James Gowans in that forward pocket.
Kicking pretty much straight into the wind, I'd say, Neil.
Have to punch it low and hard, or as he tried to do, maybe pass it off. He's obviously got a little bit of indecision about him at the moment.
I think he'll run around.
And He's shaping for that left foot, and he does use the left foot, and he does use it effectively. Well, a fantastic finish. Goal umpire's a little concerned.
There's no problems there.
Well, the goal umpire's a
Here
little
goes.
concerned
He's
because
off.
he didn't get the all clear.
He's off. Backwards. He's run 50. He's backwards 50.
I just hope he doesn't
But
do a
wait for it.
hamstring.
Hope he doesn't
Wait
go
for it.
over. Slow down.
We won't
And
miss this shot. It is
you'll be
a goal.
Oh, that was great.
And the siren has gone for half-time while all this is taking place, as we see Jared's ineffectual leap there. And the pass off by Westhoff found James Gowans, who finished the goal brilliantly on his left. As I said, a two-sided player. And that goal vital as it came just a few seconds before the siren for half-time. And at half-time, the home side, the Eagles, 6-8-44, Central District, 5-1-31, a margin of 13 points.